Go into the world and tell every man that you meet, there is a man on the cross.
A Catholic Take. What you need to know right now. A bold synthesis of inspiration and information. Keeping you up to date on the news and issues from a courageous Catholic perspective.
A Catholic Take with Joe McLean starts now.
Praise be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McLean. So good to be on with you. Praise be to God. But today, we're going to be talking about the AUSCP meeting, which is an association of priests from around the country, and they meet once a year at a conference. This year was in San Antonio back in June. You might remember Michael Hichborn from the Lepanto Institute was there to protest that. I joined him in that protest in the Rosary out front. Well, he's got leaked audio from within the conference. These priests sort of normalizing masturbation, normalizing it as prayer somehow. Same-sex blessings and other heterodox ideas. So today we're going to be talking with Michael Hichborn at 30 past the hour about this leaked audio and what he has discovered about their heterodox rebellion coming up at 30 past the hour. Also on the show, we're going to have a conversation because Pope Leo XIV yesterday made statements to a group of altar servers from France. He said some great things, actually, praise be to God. But one of the things he said raises an opportunity. He talked about the priest vocation crisis. Only men can become priests. So should the church re-embrace a male-only altar server corps? We're going to have that conversation with Adrian Fonseca, friend of the show, and the host of the Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco, coming up at 14 past the hour. Also, the Gaza war just gets worse and worse and worse. Israelis are once again taking to the streets in a nationwide protest against the war in Gaza. It's not even popular there. Let that sink in. But this morning, Greek and Latin patriarchs of Jerusalem today issue a joint statement saying it seems that the Israeli government's announcement that the gates of hell will open is indeed taking on tragic forms as reports of heavy bombardment in Gaza City continues to be received. Pray for the suffering of all of those in Gaza today. We have a lot to get to. We're going to be putting links to everything we discussed in the show notes. I'd be grateful if you'd share us with a friend. Let's pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thine intercession was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and now your saint of the day.
Our Lady of Częstochowa, pray for us. The Black Madonna of Częstochowa, called thus due to the darkening effects of centuries of votive candle smoke, is a miraculous icon of the Blessed Mother holding the child Jesus. Tradition holds that the icon is one of those written by St. Luke the Evangelist during Our Lady's lifetime on earth. The icon eventually made its way to the Pauline monastery of Jasna Góra in Częstochowa, Poland. When heretics sacked the monastery in the 15th century, one looter was miraculously unable to move the icon, and he angrily slashed Our Lady's face twice with a saber. As he raised his arm for a third strike, he dropped dead. All attempts to repair the two scars miraculously failed, and they remain visible to this day. In the year of our Lord 1655, several thousand invading heretic Swedes besieged the monastery, which was defended by just a few hundred Polish volunteers and monks. After 40 days, the Swedes had failed to breach the defenses. Terrified heretic soldiers had witnessed a towering image of a woman in the cannon smoke, holding her mantle over the monastery. The victory at the siege became a rallying cry for the Poles to eventually fight back the deluge, and King Jan Kazimierz crowned the icon as Queen and Protectress of Poland. For more about this day and others in the Church's calendar, visit thestationofthecross.com/saints and seasons. Our Lady of Częstochowa, pray for us.
And now your headline news. The Hill reports Trump signs orders targeting cashless bail and flag burning. President Donald Trump yesterday signed a series of executive orders aimed at further cracking down on crime in the nation's capital and other parts of the country. One order directs the administration to potentially review federal funding if jurisdictions do not move away from cashless bail policies. Another order directs the Attorney General to prosecute those cases where individuals desecrate the flag by identifying state and local laws they may have violated. It also directs administration officials to terminate or revoke visas if foreign nationals are found to have desecrated the flag. Breitbart reports YouTube secretly uses AI to improve videos without asking permission first. YouTube, the world's largest video sharing platform, has been employing AI to make subtle alterations to creators' videos without their knowledge or permission. YouTube finally acknowledged that it has been running an experiment on select YouTube shorts. The company stated that it uses traditional machine learning technology to unblur, denoise, and improve clarity in videos during processing, comparing the process to enhancements made by modern smartphones when recording videos. And Ground News reports Israeli forces kill 4 more aid seekers as northern Gaza braces for looming offensive. On Sunday, Israeli forces fatally shot 4 Palestinian aid seekers moving within a restricted area near the southern outskirts of Gaza City amid escalating tensions prior to a planned military offensive. The intensifying conflict and humanitarian crisis suggest worsening conditions as Israel advances militarily, with fears of forced displacement and widespread destruction in northern Gaza. And those are your headline news. The gospel today comes to us from Matthew chapter 23, verses 23 through 26. Jesus said, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you tithe mint and anise and cumin, and have left the weightier things of the law, judgment and mercy and faith. These things you ought to have done, and not to leave those undone. Blind guides who strain out a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you make clean the outside of the cup and of the dish, but within you are full of rapine and uncleanness. Thou blind Pharisees, first make clean the inside of the cup and of the dish, that the outside may become clean." The Gospel of the Lord. Laus tibi Christi. The great commentary of Cornelius a Lapide would say tithes are the bulwark of riches because they defend and preserve them. Tradition is the bulwark of the law. A vow is the bulwark of abstinence. Silence of wisdom. Judgment, it says, justice and equity, passing unjust sentences so as to favor your own friends and those who offer you gifts. Mercy, because you rigidly and cruelly exact tithes of widows and the poor. And faith, fidelity in words and compacts, or faith in God and Christ who has been sent by him. Therefore, ye are unbelievers, in that ye lack faith, hope, and charity, which are the things that God above all requires according to the words in Micah 6:8. I will show thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Mystically speaking, St. Gregory understands by the gnat, Barabbas, by the camel, Christ. You remember that. The one and only political office vote, I suppose you might compare it to, of our Lord when he was outvoted by Barabbas. This is what he says. The gnat wounds in humming, but the camel of its own accord bends to receive its burden. The Jews, therefore, strained out the gnat because they asked that the seditious robber might be set free, but they swallowed the camel, because by their cries they strove to destroy him, who of his own will had come down to bear the burdens of our mortality. Remember that? How they cried, let his blood be upon us, upon our children. How did that go? Not well. It goes on. This is another parable in which Christ calls man a cup and a plate. The body and external goods he calls the outside of the cup and the platter. The soul and the conscience he calls within, which is within. The meaning is, you, O ye Pharisees, studiously wash and cleanse your hands, your bodies, the cups and plates and glasses, out of which ye eat and drink, but ye fill your conscience with the uncleanness of rapine and every sort of wickedness. Whereas ye ought to take chief care of your conscience, should be purified. For it is that alone which makes us clean in the sight of God, as it is also that from which flows all impurity of acts and deeds. It is the conscience, which is the source of the goodness or wickedness of actions. Wherefore, it is the conscience. Wherefore, if the conscience be clean, all other things will be clean also. Father Heterodox said, woe to you. Jesus here condemns in forcible language the principal vices of the Pharisees, vis-a-vis their hypocrisy, false devotion, boundless ambition, insatiable avarice, false zeal, and ignorance in deciding upon cases of conscience. Woe to you. Woe to you. This is heavy stuff. This isn't the meek and the humble. This is the forceful. This is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Pay attention. Very, very close attention. In 2 minutes, let's talk about boy altar servers. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Did you know you can help evangelize simply by using your cell phone? The Station of the Cross is partnering with iCatholic Mobile, America's only Catholic mobile phone company. When you join iCatholic Mobile, a portion of every dollar will support our programming. Plus, you'll enjoy great service with iCatholic Unlimited 5G data, text, and talk. With iCatholic Mobile, you can stay connected with family and friends while also spreading the truth of Jesus Christ with clarity and charity. Join today at iCatholicMobile.com.
Yesterday, we reported that His Holiness Pope Leo XIV, he gave an address to a group of altar servers from France. He said some great things, but it was the statement on the vocation crisis that caught my attention. Only men can become priests. Should we re-embrace a male-only altar server corps? Here to talk about that is the host of the Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco YouTube channel, Adrian Fonseca. Adrian, good morning to you. Thank you for your time.
Howdy, howdy. Praise be to God. It's good to be here. How are you doing, Joe?
Praise be to God. I am alive, and that counts. How are you, my friend?
Oh, better than I deserve. Better than I deserve.
That's true.
That's true.
I believe that.
Yes, sir. So this story with
let's talk about Pope Leo.
Leo.
What was your first thoughts about his comments in general? He said some good things.
Yeah, overall, it was very standard, I think, especially because he was talking to kids. So, I mean, you can't expect him to just kind of give some kind of elucidate some kind of treatise. He was talking about hope. He was talking about the idea of the need for young people to act in society today, especially in regards to France. He was emphasizing the point that France really needs, hope, which is very true. We see that today. He didn't mention the crisis in France, but the crisis in France with the rise of Islam, the rise of the degradation of their culture, the rise of secularism since the French Revolution until today. So there is a great need for conversion in France today. Now, the second thing that I thought was worthy of note was at the very end of the sermon, or his address, rather, the very end of his address, he looks to the boys specifically, presumably. The translation that Diane Montagna put out on her Substack says altar servers, not altar boys, though on X, people were quoting it as him saying altar boys, but right here he says, dear altar servers. And he says he specifically addresses the boys, presumably because he then talks about the priesthood. He says, now quote it, it's very short. So he says, I speak to your conscience as young men. So there you go. Enthusiastic and generous. And I will tell you something you need to hear, even if it may trouble you a little. The shortage of priests in France is a great misfortune, a misfortune for the church, a misfortune for your country. May you gradually, Sunday after Sunday, come to discover the beauty and joy and necessity of such a vocation. How wonderful is the life of a priest who at the heart of each of his days encounters Jesus in so extraordinary a way and gives him to the world. Now, this is a very beautiful thing to say, and it brings up the question of what is the purpose of an altar server? And ultimately, it is to foster vocations for young boys. This is why we started calling them altar boys. And we can talk about the history of altar boys and where it comes from and things like that. And I think it would be very interesting, but we can backtrack that direction. I want to start off by saying, and as altar boys stand today in the 21st century, it is a manner that gives young boys an opportunity to be at the altar and to discern a vocation of the priesthood. It's kind of like learning a trade. And you go and you spend time with a master of that trade, whether it's drawing or sculpting or woodworking or anything like that. You go and do the thing. And then you're with the master and you decide, okay, I'm going to take on more and more responsibility. And it leads you on to becoming a priest, serving at the altar as a priest. And this is a very big distinction because I've heard people say, well, it also can help foster vocations for women and they can become religious sisters. But that's absurd because the religious sister is not doing the exact same thing there. They are not going to ever celebrate Mass. That's not a thing that they're going to do. So serving at the altar has nothing to do with being a sister. And so it would be as if I am becoming a tradesman as a woodworker, and I'm like, okay, this is preparing me to be a blacksmith. It's not the same thing. Those are two different things. So that's the most practical and most obvious understanding of what's happening in that situation. Now, to go back in time, well, how did this even happen, right? How did we end up here? Well, Paul VI actually is very interesting. Paul VI in 1970 said, quote, in conformity with norms traditional in the church, women, single, married, religious, whether in churches, homes, convents, schools, or institutions for women, are barred from serving the priest at the altar. Wow. That was Paul VI in 1970. He very clearly said that altar girls should not be a thing. It wasn't until JP2 where the different churches around the world, including America, under disobedience, started to implement altar girls in the liturgy, where JP2, instead of tamping down on the practice, decided to just allow it. So that way everyone who's doing it is no longer disobedient. He just said, okay, we're just going to give permission and people can do this now. It's a very similar situation to how we got communion on the hand, actually. But traditionally, this was not the case. Why? So we mentioned the situation of today of altar boys and how we got there. But also, historically, the people who served the altar were never actually boys. It was acolytes. That's why in the server manuals, you'll even see referring to acolytes. And acolytes, we kind of don't know what that is in the 21st century because the minor orders, which used to be a thing going back all the way to apostolic times, was what we called a minor order. It was a stepping stone to becoming a priest. We had minor orders and major orders. And we retained some of the major orders, priest, deacon, bishop, but the minor orders kind of were done away with. And so whenever someone was becoming a priest, it was almost like a trade. You would start off as a porter, and you would open the doors, things like that, lector. Then you start to be able to read the epistle, things like that. Then you became an exorcist, and then you became an acolyte. Then you could serve at the altar. Then you became a subdeacon, a deacon, a priest, and then a bishop, theoretically. And this is very bad, the way we got rid of this, because acolytes were the ones who served. So at the Council of Trent, the seminary structure was built because before the Council of Trent, seminaries weren't really a thing. You may have had some seminaries and you had some universities, but they wasn't universalized that every priest had to go to seminary. So once the seminary structure was created, a priest would send, or bishops rather, would send their seminarians that didn't exist until this point to a seminary. So who was doing the things at the church? Because all the people who traditionally would be doing the porter, the lector, the exorcist, the acolytes, all those jobs were now all in one place at a seminary. And that's whenever you start seeing the rise of altar boys, because they needed someone to do this job. And so it was purely a practical thing at that time. But I'll stop there. I've been blabbering for too long. I'll let you jump in, Joe.
No, I think it's important. And one thing that's interesting to me about this, looking at this as a teachable moment, because if you look at the picture, some of the pictures that came out yesterday, clearly there were girls in the crowd. But as to your point, clearly Pope Leo is directing his attention to the boys in the crowd when he's talking about this vocation crisis. It can only be translated that or interpreted that way because only men can become priests. So I thought that was very, very interesting, because even in our backyard, Adrian, you and I live in the same diocese. Even in our backyard, I know of young priests who one of the first things they did when they became a pastor was transform their altar server corps from a co-ed to a male only. So it seems to me like there's a trend now to go back to a male only altar server corps because of the benefits and everything you just talked about, the history of it, but also the benefits of how do you get young men to see the priesthood in a way that will plant that seed in their heart and prepare and train them just like in a trade. And so this idea that we're going to just make the altar server corps co-ed, and it's just sort of like a scouting thing. They've sort of reduced it to such almost like a secular idea, a shadow of its former self. This could be the opportunity to make it great again. Do you think that's? Do you think it's possible? I guess can we reacquire what was been lost now for the past 6 decades?
I mean, we have to. We have no choice. I mean, the crisis of the priesthood is so detrimental to the world. We need priests. And right now, let me just tell you from my own experience, and I know this is true of many people. When I was a boy, I didn't want to altar serve because it was a girl thing. There was like one altar boy and the rest were altar girls at our church. And so I never served at the altar. I didn't start serving at the altar until I was in college and I was discerning the priesthood. And that's when I started to serve at the altar at the traditional Latin Mass. And before that, I was like, it's not really for me. It's not really a thing for me. And once you start doing it, you realize this is a very masculine action to serve at the altar. And it fosters vocation, it fosters a love for the liturgy. And you can't be a priest if you don't love the liturgy. It's the lifeblood of a priest. Yes, priests do other things. Yes, there's other religious orders where the priests of those religious orders have particular vocations to particular ministries. But every single priest must be devoted to the liturgy, both the divine office and the holy sacrifice of the Mass. There is no if, ands, or buts about it. It's a requirement. And so if you serve at the altar and you realize, I'm not actually enjoying serving at the altar, I'm bored at the altar, well, it's a defect in your soul that needs to be kind of fostered and to be something else. But if you really don't have a love for the liturgy, an intense desire to be at the altar, well, then that's a good sign that you probably should not be a priest. And this is something that we have to foster in young boys at the youngest ages. Otherwise, where are we going? Where are we going to start ordaining women? Of course not. It's impossible. It's an impossibility. It's the same thing as married homosexuals. It's a contradiction in terms. So no, we can't have these. There is no solution to the crisis that results in married priesthood, a women priesthood. The only solution to the crisis is to have greater and more holy priests and more numbers of priests. We need it. We must have it. Let's pray for it. And let's encourage our boys to be altar servers. Let's encourage our pastors to bring back altar boys and no more girl altar boys.
Amen. Praise be to God. I know what else he said in that statement yesterday, sort of tangentially related. He said, St. Peter said it emphatically. There is no other name under heaven given to men by which we must be saved. Close quote. I mean, I absolutely love that he said that. It's clear, it's concise, it's to the point, and it plants a seed in the heart of these young people. Given the past 12, 13 years of vagueness, ambiguity, confusion, and misdirection, that's a breath of fresh air from my perspective. So I liked what he said to these young people. but I think it's an opportunity for all of us to encourage our pastors at our parishes to make the altar servers boys again. Praise Jesus. Adrian Fonseca, host of the St. John Bosco, the Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco YouTube channel. We're going to link to that in the show notes. Thanks for your insight. Thanks for your coverage of this. We appreciate having you on the team. If you want to come back on the after show at the top of the hour, you're welcome to do so, my friend. God bless you. Praise be to Jesus Christ. Welcome back to A Catholic Take, a bold synthesis of information and inspiration. I'm your host, Joe McClain, and here are your headline news. LifeSite News reports Michigan University reinstalls blasphemous pro-LGBT image mocking Our Lady. Officials at Grand Valley State University in West Michigan have reinstalled a blasphemous art display that mocks the Blessed Virgin Mary, despite previously telling the public it would be taken down. The display includes 3 digitally altered images of the Blessed Virgin Mary, with pro-LGBT and leftist slogans, as well as a gun scattered across these images. Senior Noah Mullins has been leading the fight against this, and since the last school year has been trying to get this display removed altogether, but says that the display is now in the school's provost's office. Let's pray it gets removed completely and then burned. Just the News reports Patel says feds have made more than 1,000 arrests in D.C. FBI Director Kash Patel said yesterday that federal agents have made more than 1,000 arrests in Washington, D.C. since President Donald Trump started the federal takeover of the Capitol. There have been no reported murders in D.C. for more than a week now under the crackdown. And Catholic Vote reports Islamists attack Nigerian Christian village again. Militant Islamic herdsmen attacked the Yalawada village in Nigeria a second time, August the 11th, killing 3 people and injuring others as the community was still reeling from the same group's attack in June that left 200 people slaughtered. And those are your headline news. Back in June, I had the privilege of going out to San Antonio, Texas to participate in a rosary rally out in front of the AUSCP conference mass at the cathedral in downtown San Antonio, Texas, where I grew up, by the way. And they were welcomed warmly by the Archbishop in San Antonio, Garcia Sierra, who said the mass for them. And now Michael Hichborn joins us this morning because apparently there's some leaked audio, and I'm going to link to his website article for you, but I just want you to have a little sample listen to this, and it's not for the faint of heart. If there's kids, maybe turn this off. I'm going to give you a half a second here, because this is disturbing to say the least. There was a priest in the group at the conference talking about how masturbation was prayerful to him, and this is the response that he got. Have a listen.
Anthropologists would all agree that it's not the ideal. Don't say it's wrong or it's right. Anthropologists say masturbation is not the ideal. That's not what, sex should be, not at all. Okay. Now, historically, in theology and religion, it's always been considered a major perversion and a serious sin. Right into scripture and so on. Masturbation is somehow, this is a serious perversion in Roman Catholicism, mortal sin. Now, currently, went the opposite way. In our cultural ethos, this is the most natural thing in the world, and it's not essentially a moral or psychological issue.
Michael Hichborn, good morning to you. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning. I wish I had better things to discuss.
Me too. I do too. Someday you and I are going to have to talk about something fun and uplifting and not as serious as this. But this is serious. This is rebellion. This is heterodox rebellion, that they're warmly welcomed into this archdiocese to have these conversations openly. There's no shame. They're happy to embrace these heterodox ideas. Let's start with this. Father Ron Rolheiser. Who is that?
He is a theologian. He's actually got a nationally syndicated column that's read in most Catholic publications. By Catholic publication, I mean diocesan newspapers around the country. He is a theology professor, or a professor of theology and philosophy at the Oblate School of Theology in Texas. And so he's a fairly well-known figure in any event, but he was at this conference. He has written a number of books talking about God as erotic, God as playful, that kind of thing. And you start going through what he's written and how he's approached theology, and you get the sense that this guy is not all there, or at least his understanding of Thomistic theology is highly skewed. He's a modernist for sure. And listening to his talk was just absolutely stunning, simply because he would go off on these long-winded tangents, trying to give some sort of relevant anecdote to answer complex theological problems, and he adamantly refused to talk about things in terms of sin. He didn't want to talk about sin. He wanted to talk about psychology. He wanted to talk about anthropology and what the scientists will tell us about how people should behave and how they shouldn't behave, as if that's some sort of higher moral authority over what the church has always taught. But then they were talking about all sorts of things regarding sexuality, whether it was transgenderism or homosexuality or masturbation or any of these other grave sexual matters. And again, he was always approaching it from an anthropological point of view or a psychological point of view, but not as a theologian or as a moralist.
You know, that clip that I just played, that was Father Rollheiser responding to a priest in the audience who is unnamed, who basically said that that priest was admitting publicly, no shame in his game apparently, that he masturbates, and when he considers it prayerful, which is disgusting and perverted just all by itself. And the subtlety in which Father Rollheiser responds, I mean, when I played that clip, I could imagine that a lot of people might listen to that and go, wait, hold on, he said it was mortal sin. And you got to be more tuned in than that, because what he's making is this distinction between this, the culture back in the day, they considered this sinful. Even they put it in the Bible as sinful, but the culture today, no, this is the most natural thing ever. It's that subtlety, and that word subtlety, what does that remind us of? Oh yeah, the great serpent in Genesis chapter 3, the most subtle of all the creatures. The devil works that way a lot, right? In the subtleties. These heterodox ideas they're pushed upon the lay faithful in subtle measures, it seems.
Right. Well, later on, when you start listening to that section, he even goes on to say, look, because he gives an example, and he's talking about this woman in St. Louis who approaches him and says, all our kids are out here, they're fornicating, they're having premarital sex. And she asks him point blank, are they in a state of mortal sin? And so then he goes on this long-winded explanation, and he tells this woman, look, what they're doing is irresponsible. What they're doing is stupid, but it's not mortally sinful. And he said it's because they're in invincible ignorance. So he's using a false definition of invincible ignorance to try and make a case that a whole subset of individuals are likely not in a state of mortal sin simply because the culture tells them that what they're doing is okay. And then, taking that and moving forward, he then starts talking about worthy reception of the Holy Eucharist and says that, and there I say, because he says, a lot. But what he says is that if you have a desire, an inherent desire to receive the Holy Eucharist, then clearly you're not in a state of mortal sin, because only those who are in a state of grace would ever desire to receive the Holy Eucharist. So therefore, go ahead and receive the Holy Eucharist, despite whether you are in an objective state of mortal sin or not.
Isn't that something? Yesterday I was sharing the Didache to my YouTube audience. The Didache is an ancient document. It goes back to, some say, as early as 55 AD. Some say as late as 85 AD. Peter and Paul were walking the earth before they were martyred by Nero when this document was being copied in order to be disseminated across the Roman Empire. And in that document, in mid-50s AD, it says you have to go to confession before receiving communion on Sunday, the Lord's Sabbath. I mean, this is the earliest teaching of the church. You have to go to confession before receiving communion, and not everybody is admitted to communion. You got to be baptized to begin the process of trying to get access to these divine mysteries. Justin the Martyr, 125 AD, he wrote about it. How is it a theologian, a philosopher, somebody who has these credentials, teaches young people, seminarians and the like, how can this person how do they get away with that? How do they have access to influencing young minds when they embrace such heterodox, clearly wrong thinking? It just is the most bizarre concept to me that I can think of. Why would any bishop allow this?
Well, I think the answer is pretty simple. 1/12 of all of the apostles were betrayers of our Lord. So if we were to extend that ratio to 1/12 of the bishops of the world today, well, we can expect 1/12 of them to be betrayers of our Lord. Now, what happens is, in the way Marxists work, the way communists work, they don't want to take over an institution from the head. They don't want to be the CEO of a corporation and be the one who's going to go out there and make all the decisions. It's more important to them to infiltrate that organization by getting into the HR department and determining who the employees are going to be, or getting into the personnel department and figuring out who are going to be the ones in charge of certain projects, so that they can start subtly pushing their Marxist propaganda and their communist ideologies. That's how communists work. And the thing is, these infiltrators in the church work the same way. So how does somebody like Rollheiser get into the position that he's in? It's because somebody put him there. It's because somebody understood his modernist way of thinking and said, you know what? I want to make sure that everybody who comes into the seminaries is also going to be a modernist, and the only way they're going to do that is if they're taking modernist courses from this modernist professor. Wow. That's how people like Rollheiser get in.
That's unbelievable. It really is. It's disgusting to me in so many ways. There was a lot of other conversations in this leaked audio that you have now are publishing, in the process of publishing. One of which was an openly gay priest. Again, not ashamed, just happy to talk about it like it's normal. Normalizing these heterodox ideas is rather insane to me. But nonetheless, they had this conversation at this conference in front of the whole group, this homosexual priest and Father Rollheiser. What was his response to the open gay lifestyle?
Well, it's interesting. When we was going through the audio of this particular conference, I mean, it was almost 3 hours long. So trying to find the right quotes and figuring out what to reveal was a little bit difficult. But at one point, there was a priest in the audience. Now, this particular priest you're talking about, he was talking about masturbation as a valve. He was saying, look, I was led to self-harm. So maybe it's a release mechanism. Of course, even psychologists will tell you that those who are in a state of habituated sin like this are much more likely to become violent, not less likely to become violent. But there was another point in the conversation where one of the priests got up and said, look, this whole, homosexuality is just, it's found in nature. It's found among the animals. It's found everywhere in nature. And so because of that, we should understand that scientifically that homosexuality is something that occurs in nature. It's naturally going to occur in humans. And Father Rollheiser said, well, the problem is people deny the science. They deny that there's a scientific genesis for this kind of thing. And so he went on the modernist track for this whole idea that homosexuality is a natural state of being. The problem is that you're talking about a broken nature, a nature that was harmed by sin in the very beginning, and it didn't just harm the human nature, it harmed all of nature. Everything kind of broke from there. And the reason that we find that kind of behavior among the animals is because they have a broken nature. What else do we find among the animals? They eat their young. They eat feces. They eat their own vomit. Should we imitate that as well? Of course not. Right. But that's the problem with what these people say and what they think.
All of creation is fallen to its concupiscent nature because of the sin of Adam and Eve. We must not allow ourselves to buy the lie that we are just like another animal. We are not. We have a soul and a body composite that makes us different than even the angels. Can I just thank our sponsor, iCatholicMobile.com, friend of the show. We love them so much because they support what we do here. And frankly, more importantly, they're just amazing Catholics. I love the fact that my cell phone company is a Catholic company. Is yours? I'm just curious. You can find more information about their services, 5G, unlimited data, their resources for parents, helping their kids stay away from the junk and corruption of the world. All of it on their website at iCatholicMobile.com. But thank you, iCatholicMobile.com, for being a sponsor. I love it, and I think our audience will as well. iCatholicMobile.com. We're having a conversation with Michael Hichborn about his latest article and leaked audio coming out of the AUSCP conference. This is an association of priests. They met in June back in San Antonio. And boy, oh boy, have a listen to this.
Okay. Well, Pope Francis, what do you say, didn't change the teaching. He changed the approach to this. So when Pope Francis, not just his expression, who am I to judge, but we gave permission that you can bless a gay marriage, you can bless it.
Well, hold on there, Michael Hichborn. Everybody said when you and I complained about that on this show and other places that, no, he's not blessing gay marriage. He's blessing individuals. I don't think Father Rollhauser got that memo. He seems to think that Pope Francis wanted to bless gay marriage. And this conference, they're definitely embracing this idea of blessing gay marriage, another heterodox idea. What do we make of that?
You're dead on. That's exactly what he said, and I am more than certain that that's exactly what he meant. Just last night, in fact, he did a podcast, a 1-hour podcast with James Martin, and when Fiducia Supplicans was published, James Martin immediately made a beeline straight for a same-sex married couple that he knew, and he blessed them in a outside of a church setting. And of course, the New York Times was right there on hand to take pictures of the whole thing. Just happened. It was, spontaneous.
Totally.
As it was prescribed in that document. So, totally spontaneous blessing of a same-sex union, a married, quote-unquote, couple. So, no, this was not a slip of the tongue. Father Rollhauser absolutely meant what he said. He does believe that Pope Francis gave permission to bless same-sex marriages. And as you pointed out, the hue and cry was, oh, no, that's not what he meant. He only meant that you can bless each individual within the couple without blessing the couplehood or the union somehow.
Yeah, it's the both and approach, apparently. The typical marker of the Francis pontificate was ambiguity. Let people think what they want, I suppose, and don't clarify. Because the far left, definitely, as Father Rollhauser just demonstrated, they totally believed they were able to bless couples, marriages, these, quote, marriages. Whereas those of us that would critique it, we'd point it out and we would be told, no, you're just misquoting Pope Francis. And he never clarified that, which we hope and pray that we'll see a reversal of not only Fiducia Supplicans, but Traditionis Custodes under this current pontificate. We'll have to see how it goes. But this group, this giant group of priests, and I guess there's religious sisters that are part of this association as well, even though it's an association of priests, they're pretty hardcore to the left and well embraced, well accepted. Is there any place in the United States this group is not allowed to go? Is there a diocese that would forbid them right now?
To my knowledge, there are no active condemnations of the AUSCP. I do know that Bishop Thomas in Toledo, Ohio, he put out a letter of warning about the AUSCP. This was several years ago. He wrote a letter that was indicating that this organization was theologically dangerous. He told people to stay away from them. But even then, it wasn't a full-on condemnation. He didn't forbid his priests from being members or participating in AUSCP events. But what we're calling for is for bishops to, at least in their own dioceses, fully forbid the AUSCP from having anything to do in their diocese, fully forbidding their priests from having any contact. No participation in their events, no collaboration with their priests, no exchange of funds. Don't receive their newsletters. It's got to be that level of condemnation, that level of forbidding, because it's kind of like what Scripture says about the proud. It says that their corruption is like corrosion in bronze. And if you understand anything about metallurgy, once you have a corrosive portion in bronze, it continues and it spreads until it has destroyed the entire bronze entity. It does not go away. You can't buff it out. You can't scrape it out. And it just destroys it entirely. So it's the same thing here. They are corrosion in bronze, in the bronze of the church, and they've got to be excised.
And yet it's all silent, isn't it? Not even the USCCB has anything to say about it. Do you think that this leaked audio will... Go ahead.
But the USCCB does have something to say. We have got another report that's going to be coming out in the next week or so. The USCCB is preparing to partner with the AUSCP.
Of course they
on
are.
a project.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they? What are they going to be partnering on? Do you know?
I do know, but I'm going to hold that until we do release the information.
Oh, my heavens. So, all right. So what can we do as the laity? How do we leverage this leaked audio in a way? Do you think if we could just email this to our bishops or priests or whatever in hopes that they'll review it and listen to it and maybe consider a disassociation with the AUSCP?
I do think that people should be emailing the report to their bishops. They should be setting appointments with their bishops. Call and make an appointment to talk to your bishop. This is the only way. You've got to have the face-to-face. You've got to sit down with him and you've got to tell him, Your Excellency, this organization, they were openly talking about these matters. There was let's face it, there were two bishops in the audience during the presentation when that priest said that he was masturbating and he thinks that it's a prayer, and he says, I thank God for the gift of doing this.
Wow.
So when you've got two bishops sitting in the audience and they do nothing, they say nothing, they don't correct, they don't stand up and say, you know what, that's actually very harmful for your soul. Don't do that. You're putting yourself in grave danger. They didn't say anything. There was no retribution for that. So we've got to have that face-to-face time with our bishops. We've got to sit down with them. And I hate to say it, but you have to put them on the spot. You've got to say, we have this audio. We know this organization is dangerous. They're trying to collaborate with the USCCB, and the only way that's going to stop, Your Excellency, is if you forbid your priests in the diocese from having anything to do with them. You send out a letter fully condemning this organization as an heretical organization. It's got to be made absolutely clear and without any kind of mental reservation. Just state it for what it is. Sit down with your bishop, explain it to him, really beg him to condemn the organization. It's got to happen.
Yeah. This is why we're encouraging everybody to make sure to check out the link today. LepantoIN.org is the website, LepantoIN.org. We'll link to it in the show notes as well. But you can check out the leaked audio on the Lepanto YouTube channel. So you can just go to YouTube and search for Lepanto Institute. You'll find it. It's the most recent video. You'll see it there. But we'll link to that as well in the show notes today. Michael Hichborn, thank you for your reportage. Boy, oh boy, this one's a hot one. Good grief. I can't imagine too many bishops want to touch this thing with a 10-foot pole, but they need to. It's time to be courageous. It's time to stand up for what you believe in, because golly gee whiz, I never knew you. Those words are going to be said to a lot of us that are judgment. We don't want to be on that team. We got to choose very, very carefully here. Unlike Father Rollhauser, who's clearly making a different choice. Michael Hichborn, God bless you, my friend. Thank you for all you do.
And we're back. Welcome to the after show, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. Praise be to God in all things. You guys still got your bingo cards? Did you print them out, or did you still have them on your screen? And if your screen goes away, does it take up where you left off? I don't even know. I have no idea. But good morning, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Well, pretty wild show today there, honey. Yeah, it was, honey West, wasn't it? It was a pretty wild show. A very wild show. Good morning to you, James 16897, Troy Lockett, Damon. Good morning, Mateus from sunny California. You still live in California, even though you live in a communist state. Like, all you got to do is move, Mateus. It's all it is. Get a moving truck, put the family in it, and just leave. That's all you got to do, but you stay there. Okay, you're staying for the good fight, I suppose. Sharon, good morning to you from sunny Indiana. Praise be to God in all things. Indiana, what's the coach then? Is it Grand Design? Which coach is the one in Indiana? I forget. She's getting her coach fixed. Paul, our friend from sunny Buffalo. Man, today I am off. I just feel so off today. Like it's almost as if I've not even slept, no matter how much creatine I've absorbed today. Mike K. Good. What do you got a cough? You clearing your throat over there? What are you doing? Speaking of clearing his throat, Adrian Fonseca, as I see, is back, and Hichborn's still on the team. Good morning, praise God, everybody's here. Now, just so the two of you know, we're playing ACT Bingo. The audience has bingo cards, and they're dabbing their squares, and there's prizes involved. So someone may yell out bingo today. I don't even know. We'll see. Who's humble?
You know what I should start saying absurd things until someone yells bingo.
Feel free.
You know what I didn't have on my 2025 bingo card?
What was that?
Snoop Dogg coming out and
oh, Snoop Dogg coming out against the LGBTQ crew or whatever.
Yes. That was hilarious.
That's the most gangster rap thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Oh boy! Remember that time when we went to the Snoop Dogg Dr. Dre concert in Hawaii? Oh wait,
yeah, you and me.
That was just me.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's awkward. Weird flex, but okay.
Snoop Dogg, yeah, boy, those were the days back in the day when I was living the terrible life. Go ahead. Speaking of
weird things, Jake Paul fighting Tank Davis.
Who's Tank Davis?
He's a professional boxer, a real professional boxer. Very impressive. Except he's 130 pounds.
And they call him Tank?
Well, yeah, because in his weight division, he like knocks everyone out. Like he does one punch knockout.
That weigh more than 130 pounds. What are you talking about?
He's 130 pounds. And Jake Paul is over 200 pounds. Yeah. And he's 6'1", and Tank Davis is 5'5".
He may be a Tank, but maybe he's a Bradley.
What circus show?
What?
Bradley.
Stop the madness.
It's a baby Tank.
Stop it. Stop the madness.
Just so many clown shows.
I want to see Jake Paul. What is that fighter's name from England? The Catholic fella? He's a huge dude.
Catholic fellow?
He's a Catholic guy. He's from England. His name is Tyson Fury?
Oh, Tyson Fury. Oh, is he Catholic? I know he's a gypsy. Yeah. I don't know if he's Catholic or not.
No, I don't know. Can you fact check me on that one? I was pretty sure I thought he was Catholic, Tyson Fury. Because I think he gives Jesus praise at the end of his fights.
He does, but I don't think he's Catholic.
I'm still upset at Jake for fighting Tyson, to be honest with you. That was such a disappointing fight.
Yeah. Well, I try to tell you.
I mean, Tyson didn't even fight.
Man. You're
Tyson didn't even fight. He just stood there.
He totally couldn't win. Bro, 60 years old. He just stood
there. Like, dude, just throw a punch. Just throw a punch. Any punch will do. Literally.
No, he's 60 years old, bro. He's 60. He's a 60-year-old man. What do you expect?
If Tyson were to throw a punch at you, it would hurt you and all of your ancestors all at the same time. Okay?
Right now, no. No, he wouldn't be able to hit me. No possibility.
Come on. No,
he's too slow.
Yeah, he is totally too slow.
Joe, you were asking about Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he married his wife in a Catholic church. All four of his sons have the first name Prince, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, all four of them. Fury's mother was raised Protestant. His father is a Catholic. Neither actively practiced their religions. He was introduced to religion by his uncle, who was a born-again Christian and Pentecostal preacher. Let's see. His beliefs are The Guardian described Fury's beliefs as a mixture of traditional Roman Catholic and a particularly literal interpretation of evangelical Christianity. His wife is a practicing Catholic.
Yeah,
that's why they were married in Catholic Church. So
why is my
my
camera frozen?
He's a gypsy.
That's a good question, Joe.
Why is my camera frozen on my bald head? That's the question.
Is perfect.
Right
This is
there.
exactly what I wanted to see.
This is great. Whoever had tech issues on their bingo card, mark that one off.
I forgot the tech issues.
Joe
was
losing his
on
hair,
the
mark it off.
Maybe I should get
Joe,
more. Maybe tech issues is too easy. I should be more specific with multiple different tech issue bingo cards.
That's
right?
good.
Like
That's
bingo
true.
options.
Yeah.
It's just keeping me
Joe,
humble.
this picture would make a perfect like icon kind of thing. You know, you like the stencil icon.
Yeah.
Joe the Humble. That's
it.
what that is.
That's a humility post,
which
yeah.
is not
Humility
which is not a square. So don't even try to cheat. Okay.
Yeah.
Who was it yesterday that was trying to cheat with a bunch of like stuff we hadn't talked about?
Dave wasn't cheating, but he was being particularly Vatican II in his interpretation of certain
He was
squares.
being very, very Vatican II-ish.
Yes.
Very Francis in his interpretation of things.
He
So,
we had certain things mentioned that
we're
not mentioned, or were very, very, very loose.
Yeah. Joe
correlations.
the Humble is not a box, so I don't think you can claim that. Mary, good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out. Praise be to God in all things. Good to see you guys here. Rebecca, good morning. Hey, Patty says, what do you do when Bishop Garcia Sierra is your bishop? He's not going to listen to you, is he? Nope. Good luck trying to reach out to that guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Michael.
Sure. You know, we do have issues with our bishops. I mean, what does somebody do with Archbishop Wester, who is the Episcopal counselor for the AUSCP? I mean, there are several people that have him for their bishops, or for their bishop. Yeah, you're going to have issues, but it doesn't mean you don't bring them up. And putting the bishop on the spot is one way of getting things done. You know, it's even if he doesn't listen, you follow the admonitions of Matthew. You know, if you're you approach your brother in private, and then if he doesn't listen, well, then bring a few others, and if they don't listen, then bring the church. And what that means is you sit down with your bishop, you talk to him about the issue. He doesn't listen, so you take it to the nuncio, and you say, okay, these are the steps I've taken. This is the seriousness of the problem. And we have to bring it to the attention of the nuncio, who will then bring it to the attention of the Pope, and take that for what it is. But the fact of the matter is there is a process in the church that we should follow. And at the end of the day, yes, these are men, and men do human things. But it's God's church, and he will deal with them provided we follow the right process with them. So we go through them, but they have to deal with God. So our job is simply to follow the process and then turn it over to God and say, okay, Lord, we've done what we could. Mm-hmm. The rest is in your hands.
And a big part of that, too, is being extremely, calm and patient, mm-hmm. and acting like a saint, not just feeling like you're acting like a saint. Actually imitate, the virtues of a saint in dealing with this. Don't go, pounding at the rectory of the cathedral door, like we gotta excommunicate these heretics, rah! Like you can't. You're just going to get dismissed as a nut, right?
Triggering Jake, I think it's a box. I'm pretty sure that you guys.
No, this was a bad impression. Actually, this one counts as bad impression.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bad impression of Martin Luther. Pounding,
I was going to say,
I
would say I would write out 95 things wrong with all of this, and I would nail it to the door of the cathedral.
95 theses.
Yeah,
but the
feces or theses? Can you just make sure you're clear on that?
Well, it was Martin Luther, so
got it.
He really put the Lou in Luther.
The Lou and the Luther.
But that's the thing is, like you need to act, like bring it from a standpoint of concern and respect. You're going to someone. The whole point of bringing it to a bishop, like even if you're like, oh, my bishop's not going to do anything, the whole point of bringing it to the bishop is because they possess an office of authority, and you have to actually treat it that way. You have to treat it like going to your dad about something, and you don't go up to your dad throwing a tantrum because your dad, even if your dad thinks you have a point, he might just say no because you're throwing a tantrum about it instead of actually, speaking to him respectfully. So that's the way to treat this, even if you don't like it. Even if you're like, what do I do when my emperor is Nero? The church has had to deal with that before too. So this is the case when your bishop, when you're sure that your bishop is not going to do the right thing here. So
even Nero made right judgments from time to time.
Yeah,
come on,
that's true. That is true.
There's no way that's true.
That's true.
That guy never made a right choice in his entire life.
Broken clocks.
I suppose. Hey,
he knew that the church was the biggest threat to the empire.
He did know that, I suppose. Yep. iCatholic Mobile says this calls for action. We need to take action and contact our bishops, advise us of how we can do something about this heresy. Thank you again for all your support, iCatholic Mobile. You are amazing. I would say go to the lepantoin.org website, get that article, get a link to the leaked audio. And, if you can do a face-to-face, as Michael Hichborn said earlier, that would be the best. But even if you can just email it, I would say that'd be good too. Maybe share it with your pastor. That's also another great way to do it. Start with your pastor. Go from there. See what you can do. If you can go in front of your bishop, that would be amazing. But good luck with that one. I mean, let's just be honest. The gatekeepers with the bishops are pretty well trained to keep the likes of us out. Even if we are smiling and pleasant and don't raise our voices and charitable, and no matter how we approach, they still filter us out pretty quick. So they don't.
Well,
a lot of these bishops don't want to be confronted by anybody.
Yeah, well, you don't tell them that the nature of the meeting as in a form of confrontation. When they ask, well, what do you want to meet about? Tell them, well, we want to talk to them about our donations to the diocese, and we want to talk about potential future donations.
Oh, wow.
Exactly,
that's sneaky right there.
You got to get Jesuitical about it.
That is so sneaky right there.
Because what bishop doesn't want to talk about money?
Someone said. Yeah. Oof. Ouch. He gets all excited. There's a gleam in his eye. Donations. Okay. Yes. No problem. I'm available. Come on by. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine, man? But you probably have to go under a fake pseudonym or something like that, because they would probably they got your mug plastered. On
Public enemy number one.
Yeah, all over the country.
We have more reports that we're going to be putting out about the AUSCP, but we have audio of Bishop Stowe standing up there before all of those priests at the meeting and saying that, the Lepanto people are out there, and he even said we've probably given them enough material in our sessions for the last couple of days to cover.
Oh man.
He has no idea what he was saying. Yeah.
Yes. Well, he does. I don't think he cares. I think that's the difference. Stowe's the guy from Kentucky, right?
Yeah, Lexington.
And he's the one who's been protecting this hermit, this transgendered hermit.
Yep.
Yeah. What's going on there?
And he crushed Father Shannon's order. He crushed the Father Shannon's community as well.
No. That was not Stowe.
That's not Stowe.
Yeah, because that was in Covington, right?
Covington, yeah.
Yeah, not Lexington.
Not Lexington.
Poor Kentucky.
Poor Kentucky. Kentucky's a beautiful country.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky is like it's like the Shire. It's just pleasant.
Yeah.
It's rolling hills. Yep. It's very pleasant country, Kentucky. And I remember we were almost to the border of Ohio, and a massive Sacred Heart flag was waving. I mean, this absolutely massive flag waving right off the highway. It was so beautiful to see. So there are some Catholics there, but unfortunately, their bishops are less than ideal, let's just say. Mm-hmm. Hey, good morning to you again, Sharon. Praise be to God. Eric Rodriguez, good morning. Linda Ann Wheeler, good morning to you. Don Paddock, I see you there. Praise be to God. Lori Powell, good morning. And Junior Barra, Angelique, good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, speaking of Father Shannon Collins, who I have not met, but I've listened to many of his homilies, and Father Sean Kopczynski, who I have met, and who's a excellent, wonderful priest. He's given several missions at our parish in the past. Notice, perhaps, if you admire them, notice how they have responded to persecution and what I think we would all consider, at the very least, mistreatment at the hands of their superiors. But notice how they respond, and if you admire them, perhaps consider how wise their choice of action is. Just some advice.
White Wolf says Kentucky belongs west of the Mississippi. Okay. You want to physically move it? Is that what you want to do? I mean, what's next? You're going to get a YouTuber to beat Mike Tyson? I don't think so. Okay, these things just don't happen in my universe. But maybe in alternative universes, possibly those things can happen. I don't know.
Kentucky doesn't seem particularly Western to me. Does it to you?
No, it doesn't.
It's where you're from.
It's heartland. Kentucky's heartland, man. It's beautiful.
Kentucky to me is more like Appalachia adjacent, at least.
Adjacent,
right?
yes.
Adjacent, you know?
Adjacent, yeah. On the fringe. Hey, Roseanne, good morning to you. They spend money getting new recruits from third world countries, but they aren't screened for anything and are not seminary material. Yeah, that's been a problem too, hasn't it? We're seeing like a pipeline. I remember I was talking to Gomulka, I think it was Monsignor Gomulka, talking about the pipeline of seminarians coming into some of these seminaries, but they were really to feed the insatiable sexual appetites of certain degenerate clergymen.
That. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
It was crazy, wasn't it? It was horrible. Dorota, how do I say your name correctly? Dorota Garcia, good morning to you. Says San Antonio Catholics are a virtue signaling networking cult. Wow, that's pretty rough.
Wow.
That hide behind obedience to avoid doing anything uncomfortable. They are about as spiritually spicy as cheap chocolate pudding. Wow, are you a writer? That was so graphic. That was so like literature-like. I mean, wow.
Okay, but you actually really like the diocese, though, right?
I like cheap chocolate pudding, to be honest with you.
There you go.
I just can't have it anymore. But boy, did I used to love crushing some cheap chocolate pudding. I grew up in San Antonio. I was not Catholic when I lived there, and I've been back countless times as a Catholic. And I got to tell you, what you say, what you demonstrate there is pretty spot on. I mean, there's exceptions. There's some great Catholics that do live there for sure. But on the whole, in general, speaking with broad strokes, I think you're right about that. I think that kind of...
It's suboptimal.
Yeah, it's suboptimal to be sure. Why is that, though? Why? What explains that, Adrian?
Shoo, you're asking the wrong person, man.
The Oblates. The Oblates are a big part of the problem, as Hichborn talked about today with Father Rollheiser. The Oblates are heterodox, and they're teaching, and they're like the standard there.
I mean, everything is downstream of the bishop, right? So, I mean, if you have a good bishop, obviously it doesn't stand or fall on the bishop if there's external factors. However, that being said, at the end of the day, the bishop is the spiritual father of the diocese. So if he decides to be a good bishop, then he has the ability to do great things for a diocese. If he wants to be a bad bishop, then the diocese is going to fall apart. So in San Antonio has just not had a lot of good bishops in recent memory, or even just like, hey, it'd be better if we just had a bishop who did nothing. But even like the seminaries over there, they would hire people who, I can't remember who it was. Was it Ronald Rollheiser who they hired over there at their seminary?
Yeah, that's who we're talking about today. Yeah, that's exactly who we were discussing.
Well, we actually read his book at University of St. Thomas Houston's campus ministry department. They were reading his book for the RCIA students. And it was I was right after I had graduated, and I had just gotten in a fight with the former campus minister there, former Father Chris Volka, who left the priesthood, became a Methodist. And the people that he appointed before he left were using Father Rollheiser's book. And they had like kind of booted me from the campus ministry department at the time, because they restructured, so they couldn't fire me, so they restructured, and then they had a totally new system. And so whenever they did that, they started doing that, and I was like, I don't want anything to do with it. I have nothing to do with it. retired from caring about what's going on over here. And one of my friends was like, no, please, can you come read this book and like this and the other. So I look at the book, The Holy Longing, and I read the first like two chapters, and it was the most scandalous thing I've ever read in my life. I was so scandalized by this. It absolutely like diabolical in nature. And this is the people that they employ.
It sexualized God.
It's sexualized God, and it sexualized the saints. It's sexualized. I can't even repeat the things that it said because of how inappropriate. It's blasphemy. It's blasphemy at the highest levels. Yeah. And he's not only teaching at the seminary in San Antonio, but he's like a gold star. He's like a celebrity professor there. It's absurd.
You see,
the whole thing is utterly absurd.
Hichborn, you sent me the link last night of Father James Martin, Father Jimmy Martin, and Father Rollhauser on a podcast. Did you see the gleam in Father Jimmy Martin's eye when he's introducing him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, the guy was super excited.
As if he's a rock star. I mean, and you listen to him, and he goes, he's not very bright. He is not a smart person. I don't understand why he's so revered. I mean, even just from a human standpoint, he's not a smart person. He doesn't speak well. He doesn't write well. His writing is actually rather juvenile. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's purely diabolical. It's very clearly a maneuver from people who have more power. They've put him into this position. They've given him. They have graced him with this position of authority, with this false prestige. Because even like you read someone like Karl Rahner, and you could tell this man is an intelligent person. Like, he's very smart. Versus this, because there's a difference, right? We sometimes don't desire to compliment our enemies or our opponents, but you look at certain people, like you can look at a Napoleon and say like, oh, well, this guy was clearly a genius. This guy was clearly very skilled in what he did. But then there are certain people like Father Rollhauser, who you're just like, who are you? Why? Why?
How did you get in here again?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, some of these people are geniuses, and he's not.
It's funny. That's what Jake says every day. I connect to Buffalo. He's like, how did you get here again? One more time. Remind me. How did you get the job?
Who are you?
Who are you again?
When I was listening to Father Rollhauser's talks, one of the things that stood out is that he would emphasize words as if he had just said something deeply profound. And he was, he would sit there and say, well, we don't want to talk about sin because, it's not really about what's right and what's wrong, but it's about your soul. It's about your soul. And he would sit there and emphasize the word soul as if it was like the most profound thing that he'd ever. Come on, of course it's about your soul. But how do you get there? You get there because you understand the proper theological application of moral theology. Yeah. So stop it. What a moron.
That's because they like their gobbledygook, right? I mean, they love their leftist heterodox jargon, and they just sort of dwell in it like pigs in slop. Hey, by the way, the traditional Thomas is on the team. Good morning to you.
Oh, awesome.
He says, always nice to see guests come to school and learn from the greatest Catholic reporter, Joe McLean. He is the greatest patristic scholar in our age. After all, he interviewed many of the fathers. Did I? Are you saying I'm old? Like
that's not what
like a boomer or something like that? I mean, like, wow, I'm not sure to be.
Bingo.
Was that a compliment or was that? Wow.
Hey Joe, you interviewed Moses, didn't you? After he came back down with tablets.
I did. I helped him. I helped him destroy the tablets. Actually, we stomped all over him. We had a little. It was great. It was fantastic. It was like a little.
When my dad was a Master Chief in the Navy, he told me that a new recruit was under his watch. So they were doing watch together, and the recruit was just kind of making small talk and asked him, how long you've been in the Navy. And he said, well, I got my first orders from Captain Noah. He told me to go to Norfolk and wait for water.
That's great. I like that.
Oh, man.
Flying Tigers, good morning to you, man. How are you? Praise be to God. He says, Father James Martin, he loves Shania Twain. Why? Because he feels like a woman.
Oh, man.
But
That was great.
I'd say low-hanging fruit, but
Less pretty low-hanging flute right there. Right there. Rollheiser is not a genius as the traditional Thomist, but he would be if he listened to Joe McClain, the greatest moral theologian of our time. From your lips to God's ears.
That's what we call him around here. Joe Alphonsus Liguri II McLean.
That's pretty much
right? That's what we call him.
Right?
That sums it right there. Liz Finch, good morning to you.
That's not one of them.
Yeah, it's funny. My kids do too. But anyway, Eddie Haskell. Who let Eddie Haskell into the chat? I don't know who did that. He's here nonetheless. Joey Carter, good morning to you. Thanks for hanging out. Clayton is back. Good morning, Laura, Roseanne, Alberto, Bruce City too. Good morning to you. Helen Grace, good to see you here. Thanks for hanging out. By the way, I thought it was it Susie earlier? She said that did she say that vocations are thriving here in Melbourne and Sydney? Are things turning around in down under right now? Are things getting better for the Catholic faith down there? Because last time I heard
down
it was
under,
like,
is that Mexico?
Is that Mexico? Have you even ever been to Mexico? Seriously? Come on, you've never even been to Mexico, have you? See,
I've been to Laredo, which is basically Mexico.
South Houston is not the same as Mexico. Okay, it's not quite the same.
Okay, when I went to Brownsville a couple months ago, I was like, no one spoke English, man. No one spoke English.
It's because it's northern Mexico.
It's literally Mexico, bro. I went into a restaurant. I went to order food. They didn't take card, and they only took cash. And I was like, where am I? Am I in America? Like, what's going on here?
Did they take pesos or American?
They probably did take American, but I bet you they would have taken pesos. That was the weirdest experience. I was like, how on earth am I in the United States and nobody here speaks English? Like, that's absurd because I don't know Spanish. It was very
awkward. It's so awkward for you, but someday
I've been to Mexico.
Have you? Mexico City?
Yeah, my wife. I went to Mexico. Well, we had a stop in Mexico City, but for our honeymoon, my wife and I went to Cancun.
Okay,
and we were. Yeah, we
I
were
bet
in
people spoke English there.
Mexico. Yes, in fact, I'll never forget the shuttle ride when we went to one of the local ancient ruins from our resort, and the driver, first of all, it's like 5 lanes in 2 directions with no median. So in order to get around cars that are going too slow in the 5th lane over to the left, they were going into oncoming traffic and weaving around oncoming cars to get around these vehicles so that they could continue on in this 5-lane highway. Now, I'm already fearing for my life. I'm going, I've been married for 24 hours and I'm already going to die.
Going to die. That's right.
We were screaming down the road, literally, and finally the guy pulls over in this like broken down area, and he turns around and he goes, "Hey, who wants some beers?" And I was like, I would. And so he goes in, he buys some beers and hands them out, and then he cracks one open and he takes right off on the road, and I'm sort of like, oh my gosh.
You're gonna die. I don't know. That sounds worse.
The reason why people can't drink and drive is because they don't practice enough.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
No, you know what the problem is? The problem is drunk crashers, giving a bad name to all of us drunk drivers.
Ouch.
Exactly.
Okay, don't,
Exactly.
guys. Listen, don't. You're gonna get me canceled here.
After all this time, this is what gets Joe canceled.
All of this is a joke. By the way.
We're not on the radio anymore.
Okay. All
legal
of
reasons, this is a joke. For legal reasons,
simply
this is
a joke. You're killing me. You're killing me, people. Man,
This is what gets Joe's show.
YouTube is going to take this very seriously, people. Okay, Facebook. The FBI is calling me. Like, what
Don't
is
worry,
going
YouTube's
on?
AI is going to cut all of this out. Don't worry about it.
No, they're going to sharpen it, make it look better, and
Yeah,
I'm all right
exactly,
with
yeah.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
if you want to make me look better, can you
fill
also
in the hairline, everything? Yeah.
Can you fill in the hairline while you're doing the AI sharpening? That would be great.
You can't spell hair without AI.
Man, I got to tell you, it's funny. That's a crazy experience, Michael. But I remember when my wife and my story is not as cool as yours. But when my wife and I went to Rome for the first time in 2005, our daughter was just born. She was 3 months old. We had an 8-year-old son, and we get into the car at the airport, and I literally thought we were going to die. Just like, because the way that they drive in Rome is just like intense and crazy, and they, like Tetris, they're squeezing into every crevasse and whipping down these back roads with cars parked on both sides and people crossing, they didn't like lock the car seat in, so we were like holding the car seat, and it was crazy. I thought, what have I got myself into? We're never going to survive this. But I'm glad I didn't go to Mexico, because that would have been worse. Edward Clancy's on the team too. It says Jesuitical should be a square.
Yeah, Jesuitical.
I think Jesuitical should be a square. I think he's probably right about that.
I'll add that to the list for the next game.
That definitely does come up on the show, so I'm not sure where we're at with this. But CC Stone says, Joe, hope you cover the new film on the tragedy unfolding in the Charlotte Diocese, Bread, Not Stones. As a filmmaker, I would love to hear your take on it. Well, you're in good luck there, CC Stone, because tomorrow they're going to be on the team to discuss that film. We're going to have on the show from the production of that documentary film, actually, I take it back. It's not tomorrow. It's Thursday. Mea culpa. Brian Williams from Regina Magazine is going to be on. Brian Williams will be here Thursday to discuss the documentary film. So it's not tomorrow. It's Thursday. So I will have myself flogged after the show just for making that error. But that's okay.
I'll be over later.
You volunteer to do the task, huh?
I volunteer. Yeah,
you are amazing, man. You are so humble. You are so very
out
sane.
of charity.
Out of charity.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly says, Joe, you'll never be emperor now. Why not? What have I done?
because of the drunk driving scandal on the show, for which you're being canceled.
The drunk driving scandal.
Traditional Thomist applied some great Thomistic logic to this situation, though. If people were not supposed to drink and drive, why do they put parking lots at the bar?
Good question.
There you go. Ironclad. Thomistic logic.
Good. Or why are there cup holders in the cars?
Exactly.
You know, this doesn't make any sense. Obviously, it's like speaking out of both sides of your mouth. Mac puts tacos up. Tacos. One of the greatest gifts to mankind from Mexico is tacos. I would argue that's a good call. Janice says Michael Haynes' new Substack, Vatican to host third Irreligious World Fraternity meeting. What does that even mean? Irreligious. I got to go look at Michael Haynes' Substack to know what that means, Janice. I'm not even sure what that means. What is the Irreligious World Family Fraternity meeting? Do you mean like an ecumenical thing? Is that what that is? I don't even know. Zena. Good morning to you. Dorita says they have parking lots at bars so their kids can drive them home.
That's the main reason I'm planning to have kids. That's true.
Is just so they can drive you home from the bar? Wow. That's great.
So, I mean, like that, again, reasons to have kids. One, so you can field a single Little League team yourself. And two, to have them drive you home from the bar. You know?
Free labor.
Yeah.
Free labor.
Yeah.
Joey says there are drive-through windows for daiquiris in Louisiana. I'm not surprised by that, to be honest. That
they have
doesn't
those in
surprise
Houston.
me.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. See what you guys have done. Look what you've started here. We've totally changed the conversation in the chat to drinking now. It's all about
why are we
this
talking
is all
about
Jake's
should we
fault.
talking about Ultra Boys?
Next he'll start talking about smoking and just like it'll all be over.
I'm saving most of my smoking talk for when we finally move this show to later in the day and replace it with our morning show, Holy Smokes.
Do you see what he's doing here? He is planning to push ACT out of the way.
There are wheels within wheels here. There's a madness to my method. Trust me. I mean a method to my madness. Sorry.
Method to your madness. True or false? In Mexico, there's no such thing as a burrito.
They're all tacos.
What do you think are born from burros?
They're all tacos, right? Burros. It's all just a taco, right?
Yeah.
It's all just a taco.
I've only ever had Tex-Mex.
Like a burrito is distinct from a taco is just a Tex-Mex thing. That's not like a Mexican thing, right?
Yeah, I think that's true.
You see what we've done to the Mexican culture? We've destroyed it.
We made it better. That's the thing about food for the United States. Other than the fact that our ingredients are suboptimal, American way of making food is just better than everywhere else in the world.
Correct.
We just take other cultures' foods and just make it better.
Yep. Pizza, Chinese food, all of them. It's just better.
Everything.
It is. That's correct.
Everything.
That's true. Absolutely true. We take those and we just perfect
I like this
them.
guy, Joe.
It's great.
He should. I like him
You know
more
what?
than you,
You
Joe.
want to know why? You want to know why you like him? Because he's the world's most humblest producer.
I'm the world's humblest producer. It says so here on my mug.
It's right there.
There it is.
That's wild. I thought that was the most humble producer. That's crazy.
Yeah, how did I know?
We'll have to have a humble off in the after show one of these days.
Humble off, yes.
We'll fight about it later. I'm more humble.
I'm humbler.
Meek and Humble 2025. The showdown from down under.
There we go.
Napoleon, good morning to you.
Humble in the jungle.
Humble in the just that was the phrase I was looking for. Humble in the jungle. Why didn't that come? Being old is terrible. I don't recommend it at all. The brain doesn't want to work. Napoleon says there's already a podcast called Holy Smoke. That's true. That's what's his name?
Is it called Holy Smoke? Because ours would be Holy Smokes. So.
Damon.
Yeah, Damon.
Oh, that's right, Damian Thompson. Of course, yeah.
Damian Thompson. Yeah.
He blocked me.
Not surprised.
He's temperamental.
I've
I've had old accounts that got blocked by him just because of weird stuff.
Yeah,
it's just
for no reason. I think I was like going against homosexuals, and he blocked me. I was like,
sometimes he just blocks. I think sometimes he just blocks for like using like the wrong like attitude or language towards something, even if he exactly it's like he's. I like a lot of his reporting and stuff, but sometimes on Twitter he just blocks people or whatever. I've had previous accounts blocked by him.
He has no chill.
Yeah, there's a reason why he blocked you for that, Adrian. Let's just say there's a reason why he's sensitive to that issue. Hey, Groggy, good morning to you. Holy smokes, Catholic. Catholics shouldn't smoke, by the way. Beverly Hamilton, Joe, Michael for Emperor today. You want to make Michael the Emperor?
The body is a temple, and temples require incense.
I thought you were on my team, Beverly. Don't listen to these smokers and jokers and drinkers, okay? They're going to mislead you. These are not the emperors you want.
Smokers, jokers, midnight tokers.
I'm going to be king of Texas. You have to do whatever y'all want with the United States.
King of Texas will simply be a subservient kingdom to the emperor.
Once I was the king of Spain, but now I eat humble pie.
Now you eat humble pie. Michael, good morning to you.
No one's going to get that reference.
Joe, so how did you throw out Joe's camera? Did it happen again?
No, you're good.
I'm good now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, you're not good, but your camera's working.
Yeah, there we go.
See what I got to deal with. How did you get on the show again, Adrian? Remind me one more time.
I got a text message saying, "Here's the password."
Jake, do me a favor. Write a note after the show. Have me fired. Okay, let's not. We can't be tolerating that again.
Seriously.
Cigar mode. It says Catholics should only smoke cigars.
No,
cigar superiority there.
Pipes.
Cigar racism.
Pipes are peak. Pipes are peak. I like a cigar, but pipes are peak.
Yep.
Steven, good morning to you. Everything made for eating all desks. I don't even know what that means, Steven. Like, what is, like, can you say that again, but only this time in English? That'd be amazing. Darren, good morning, says Adrian. His humble producer blocked you. Yeah, well. Dave's Jew 93 is back. Good morning, says, I, for one, am learning a lot today. Okay.
Good.
I'm glad somebody has said anything edifying in the last 30 minutes.
Nothing. Not one thing. Nothing. It's just been drinking, smoking, and driving, and it's been horrible. It's really, really been horrible. Pipes, Caleb says. Pipes. Texas would be
I will just point out that I haven't said anything really much in the last 10 minutes, so
yeah,
that's probably why.
That's why, yeah. We brought you on to class up the joint with some of your commentary, and then it's all just been us joking.
Can we just point out that you're not keeping your end of the bargain, Michael? I mean, it's time for you to step up.
I'll turn your mic up a little bit over here and interrupt everyone.
When I become emperor, The first thing I'm going to do is outlaw bicycles on the road.
Yes.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Oh,
You've got my vote
move.
already. You've already got my vote.
Big move.
Already got my vote.
That's like taking a pawn 2 spaces
even.
out right out of the
That's-
gate. I mean, that's like a big move. Wow.
Already got my vote.
Yep.
I can't stand it.
Who knew
Can't
that
stand
bikes
it.
were the problem? Okay. Bikes.
Oh, they are.
it's the
Oh, they
Oh
are.
my goodness,
They
are.
are.
They're
it is.
insufferable.
Yes, correct. This is
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
It's honestly immoral the way
maybe
they
it's because you
act.
believe.
Let me put it
Maybe
this
it's
way.
because you live in a beautiful place, Michael. That you have people who
It's
want to
worse
ride
than
bikes
that.
outdoors.
It's because we live in Virginia where you have one lane in each direction, back roads with no shoulder.
Yep.
And these marathon bikers who believe that they own the road and think that they have as much right to block traffic as anybody else will sit there and they'll keep going regardless of the 30 cars they've got piled up behind them, and they will not pull over.
Yep.
When I was growing up, my grandparents said, if you ride your bicycle on the road and you've got a car behind you, you make sure you pull over and allow them to pass. And I always did. So when I see bikers on the road, I start, my blood pressure just starts
I can tell.
soaring.
Can we put?
Here's the thing about the
Michael,
cyclists,
can we put
too, is
Michael is triggered into a box on AC?
that'll be the new one. Yeah.
Because I think that's a good one.
The thing about cyclists too is that they want to have their cake and eat it too, because they want to they want all of the rights and space allowed for an entire fleet of trucks. But then they also want to disregard any traffic rules and cruise through stop signs and red lights because, suddenly I'm a little pedestrian. I'm an innocent little pedestrian now, and I can cross the road. Like, they're the most arrogant creatures on the face of the earth. They're just
Yep.
Tradish Mom, good
Banned.
morning to you. Tradish Mom says, Humble Off sounds like a Jim Henson character from a weird 1980s kids show. Probably.
Humble Off. That's
kind of disturbing, to be honest, the Humble Off.
It sounds like a parody of like a Russian a Soviet general or something. It was General Humble Off, and he's got
Just
like
keep
a
accusing
chest
each
full
other
of
being
medals.
prideful.
Yeah, he's got a chest full of medals. And he's General Humble Off.
Studebaker, how good morning to you, my friend.
Hey.
How are you? It's good to see you back in the chat. He says Hichborn is only there for eye candy.
Whoa, that's what I'm here for. What are you talking?
Well,
What do you mean?
Hichborn is our trophy guest. That's for sure.
Our trophy guest. Trophy guest.
I love it. Praise be to God. That's awesome. Oh boy, oh boy. I tell you what, I would I wouldn't be my first move as the Holy Roman Emperor, but maybe move 3 or 4. Semi tractor trailer trucks are never allowed in the passing lane under any circumstances whatsoever.
I
Stay
can
in the
see
right.
that. I can see that.
That's fine.
Stay in the right.
I'm okay with that.
Stay in the right.
They don't bother me.
Don't ever get into the left. If you do,
Just as long
then
as they're American drivers,
immediately
it's
there's
not
like a
that big
shock
deal.
on the wheel, and like the driver gets like stunned or something along those lines. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But stay in the right. Just stay in the right. I think they might get mad at me.
Hey,
for
did any of
saying
y'all watch the Fantastic Four movie?
that. No, I'm
I
Catholic.
haven't seen it yet.
I wouldn't do that. Sorry.
It was really good. It was very pro-family, and low-key, it was very pro-life.
This is like a more recent
Loki
one?
was in it?
No, yeah, he was. Yeah. Low-key was.
Is that like
And,
hold on,
but-
Jake?
I didn't know it
when
was
he
a
says
Thor movie.
When he says low key, that's like some sort of youngin term. Like, what does that mean?
Youngin term. That term's like 30 years old.
Low key. That's what the kids
That's
are saying,
forever
aren't
old.
they?
No, the kids don't say low key anymore.
Yeah,
No,
that was back whenever you were in Hawaii old.
Wow, that was forever ago. That was like
Anyway,
30
so
years
the
ago.
movie, I highly recommend watching it because it was surprisingly pro-life. It probably wasn't intentionally so, but it was. The whole movie surrounds the story of trying to protect the child in the womb of Sue and Reed Richards. And one of the scenes, and I'm just like, do you guys realize what you did? Like, this is low-key incredible. And so what they did was, one of the scenes, Reed, because he's a genius scientist, he's like inventing this, almost like he's trying to invent an ultrasound machine basically, and he's trying to see the baby to make sure the baby's okay, because it takes place in the past. It doesn't take place right now.
The 60s.
And he's trying to create this stuff to try to see the baby, make sure the baby's okay. But Sue, his wife, is the invisible woman, so she can like turn herself invisible, and so she actually just makes her skin transparent so you can see the child in the womb. and they look at the baby and they see the baby in her womb, 5 fingers, each hand, 10 toes, nose, ears, mouth.
Not
you
a
see the
clump of
baby, and
cells?
it's like very cute, not a clump of cells. And you're like, and they're looking at him, and he's like, oh wow, and you're like, it's a baby in the womb. And then he meets Galactus, this galaxy level threat who eats planets, and he points at her and is like, I want the child in the womb. And it's like this galactic being who is like this all-powerful creature who can eat planets and recognizes the child in the womb as a child, as a human being. It's incredible how pro-life it really was.
This movie is out right now. This movie's out right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
impressive.
One thing people need to realize, there are still some Catholic writers who will try to subtly put in pro-life, pro-family messages into movies. In fact, if you saw the movie Boss Baby, it's probably the most pro-life family or pro-life movie Hollywood has ever produced. Because the whole message of it, the premise of the movie is that this baby comes down from Baby Corp to start investigating why there are so many fewer babies being produced in these families. Why are families not? Why are babies down? And they realize babies are down because puppies are up. So all these couples are going out and getting dogs instead of having kids. And so the Boss Baby, who's the head of this Baby Inc. Factory, whatever it is, goes down. He starts investigating. So he's a genius level infant running around trying to investigate this, but also keeping his cover as a child, which it's funny and it's clever. But at one point, he then has to go back up to corporate, which means they have to erase his memory from the minds of the parents and his sibling who originally or initially resented him, but then came to really love him as his brother. And it's a really touching point in the movie. And he says, but I don't want to forget you. I don't want you to not be here. And it's kind of an overture or an overt statement about what happens with an abortion. And you start watching it and you go, holy smokes, this is an amazing film. It's really prescient. I've
never seen Boss Baby. I'll have to check out both of those.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Was there anything in the Adrian? Was there anything in that movie you just explained that is objectionable, like blasphemy or anything like that? Though I'd have to. I don't recall any blasphemy. I could probably look that up and find out pretty easily if it has blasphemy. But off the top of my head, I don't remember hearing any. Sexual references?
Not really, other than Sue and Reed being married.
You sure?
And then there's the only thing that I didn't like was the kind of feminist girl boss thing where they had Sue be this girl boss who was pregnant, but also was like the world leader and yada yada. And so that was the only thing that was weird and I didn't like. But it was still trying to be like a secular version of pro family, where it's like, oh yeah, a woman can have it all. She could be a mother and be a world leader and this and the other. Wearing her pantsuit and whatever. So that was the only negative. But other than that, it was very good.
And the Baby Boss, who made that? Was that Pixar or
Boss Baby?
I think it was DreamWorks, wasn't it?
Let me see.
DreamWorks.
It might have been DreamWorks, but I'm not sure.
DreamWorks.
Could have been Illumination.
By the way, you have triggered. Congratulations, Michael Hichborn. You have triggered one of the founders of our apostolate. Joanne Wright, hanging out in the chat box this morning. Good morning to you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Says, nothing is more arrogant than a bicyclist over 65. More invasive than the Florida Pythons. See what you have done, Michael. Joanne, thank you for your sacrifice and service for our apostolate for 25 years, by the way.
And for backing us up on our opinion on cyclists.
Wow, you have triggered Joanne Wright. Congratulations. Dorota, I think I said that right. Dorota, still wondering how they got Boss Baby past the gatekeepers. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Boss Baby is DreamWorks,
DreamWorks.
Not just past the gatekeepers, but how did they get Alec Baldwin to do the starring
right
role for the whole script?
Boss Baby is huge. It's a whole franchise now.
Yeah.
They have TV show. They got multiple. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
It was pretty popular.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Animated films tend to do pretty well because parents are like, I don't know what to take kids to in the midst of all this garbage, so let's just take them to an animated movie. And the problem is that a lot of them are not good, so it's kind of
exactly. Yeah.
What is Thunderbolts, Don Franco? He says, I tried to watch Thunderbolts last night, turned it off after 10 minutes because of so much blasphemy. What was Thunderbolts?
It's a Marvel film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be like it was supposed to be like the
Didn't
Avengers,
they retitle it to the New Avengers or something like that, or the Young Avengers, or the weird Avengers?
Yeah, they were trying to market it as like the New Avengers. It was Thunderbolts, and then it had asterisks, and it was like the New Avengers.
Yeah.
I watched it on a plane ride, and I was like, "Wow, this is." It just wasn't a good movie, honestly. Like, just removed all the blasphemy, it just was a terrible movie.
Yeah. I felt that way about Winter Soldier.
The big bad guy. Spoiler alert:
What?
The big bad guy.
Winter Soldier was so good.
The blasphemy was terrible.
Yeah, the big bad guy in the movie was depression and addiction. And the way that they defeated depression and addiction was to hug it out at the end. I mean, it was. I'm not even kidding. It was literally.
Boy. We're just gonna light a candle.
It was
light a candle, and we're just gonna take a moment, and we're just gonna hold hands. Okay, we're just gonna hold hands.
When I want to watch a superhero movie,
hug it out.
I want to see like laser blasts, explosions, and people
buildings
screaming
falling,
and running in terror. That's what I want to see. But I don't want to see like this sappy, syrupy, hug it out kind of. Oh, it was so awful.
It's dark and gritty Care Bears, right? It's like,
it was.
The Care Bears. Now you've triggered me. Now I'm having
the real superheroes were the friends we made along the way.
Yikes! Care
That's
Bears. What's next thing you know? Smurfs.
There's been a lot of Smurfs. There's been like 15 Smurf movies.
It's terrible.
All starring Rihanna, I think, of all people.
Why?
Speaking of,
honestly,
so the Smurfs was actually created by a propagandist who was a communist.
Not surprised.
All of the Smurfs.
That makes sense.
It was actually banned in England as communist propaganda.
I'm not
Papa Smurf wearing the red, being the only one who can do magic, resembles Karl Marx. Brainy Smurf represents Trotsky. And what happens? He's always quoting Karl Marx. Papa Smurf always says, and what do? They toss him out of the village, just like they got rid of Trotsky.
So, are you saying the bad guy in the Smurfs is actually the good guy? Is that what you're blowing my mind right now? Like, what are you saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The cat is actually America.
The villains.
What?
Stop
it.
Yep.
Stop this. You're ruining my childhood.
Gargamel is the capitalism because he wants to turn the Smurfs into gold and eat them.
Because as a capitalist, that's all I ever want to do is eat my gold.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, I want to eat Smurfs, actually, to be specific.
But
tastes like blueberries.
Right.
Tastes like blueberries, yeah. Oof. Remember when they made Smurf cereal? Didn't they make Smurf cereal? I think they did, if I remember correctly.
All the Smurfs, their names are actually their functions rather than
kind of weird
having real names.
So true. I never thought about that.
Cog in the wheel.
Good point.
I'm not a number. Yep. I'm a free man.
Yes.
How does Michael know all these
reference.
obscure facts like Papa Smurf being Marx? One has to ask the question. Here's a more deeper, profound question for you, Dorota. I'm going to get your name correct someday. I promise you. Just not today, but someday.
Sure.
Dorota. Here's a more profound question about that. Have you ever seen Michael Hichborn and Papa Smurf in the same room at the same time?
Good question.
Never. How do we know they're not the same person? You see what I'm saying?
Well,
see?
That's true. I have seen Clark Kent and Superman in the same room at the same time.
Yeah.
Have you?
And I have.
Traditional Thomas, tell us how sound Joe's logical reasoning is here.
It's pretty sound. I wouldn't go with it. I wouldn't fact check that. I would just go with it. Street rats have e-bikes, says Xena. I don't know.
Like Aladdin? Street rats.
Regina, good morning. Just came in. The conversation is off the rails. I'm out. Well, Regina, thanks for hanging out and thanks for stopping by. You missed all the good stuff from earlier. Now we're just in total wind down mode and about to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Because it's the crazy wild, wild west of the after show. See what we did? We let Adrian Fonseca back in, and this is what happens. Smoking, drinking.
Yeah.
It just gets worse.
The after show's never gone off the rails before. This is all Adrian Fonseca's fault.
It's always been very systematic, very on point.
You're welcome.
I mean, just take a look at the bingo card, and it's all about, like theology, liturgy,
Would anybody be talking about Century if it wasn't for me? Actually, I think Michael brought up Century.
Yeah.
As Don Franco says, convo, gluttonous drinking, and masturbation. Pretty much sums up the show. Pretty much sums up the conversation.
For the record,
actually, that says glutinous. So I think
and altar servers. So I don't know what everybody else is talking about. That's what
I think that's only talking about drinks that contain gluten.
What drinks don't contain gluten? Vodka, maybe? I don't know. Joe is way more papish. Is that what that says?
Papish?
Or am I just being too boomer-like? I can't see it. We have the recipes. Good morning. Thanks for hanging out. Roseanne?
Papa-ish.
Papa-ish.
You've got the beard.
It's like so far away, I can't even read that.
He's saying you're veritably Smurfian, Joe. With your Papa Smurf beard.
He just needs
By the way,
yeah,
I'm considering shaving the beard off when I get back from Idaho.
No.
Do it.
Are you going to go full Hulk Hogan mustache?
Do it.
Can we get a how's that?
Do it.
Can we get a vote? How many people think I should shave it off?
You got to raise money.
Completely shave it off. I'm mustache too. I have to have it because I'm playing Saint Hilarion in a low budget film. So I have to have it for that.
Don't shave it until they know they don't need reshoots. Because otherwise they'll have to digitally add it in, and then you don't want to go there.
Well,
it's like when they had to digitally remove Superman's mustache because he was making the Man from U.N.C.L.E. or whatever it was, or Mission Impossible.
Was he really?
He was. Yeah.
Did they have to do that?
Yeah. They made Justice League, and then they were like, "This Justice League movie is bad. Let's do reshoots with Joss Whedon to make it funny." Like the Marvel movies, and then they had to do reshoots with Henry Cavill, and he had a big mustache. He had a big mustache. I think he just basically told them, "No, I'm not shaving it. I'm busy making a way better movie than this is," and so he wouldn't shave it, and they had to digitally remove it, and you can tell it looks terrible.
Looks terrible. Yeah,
you could always just do the Cesar Romero thing from the Batman series back in the 60s.
Just paint over it.
Just paint over his mustache.
He refused to shave it. Yeah. Paint over it.
Oh man!
Well, and the thing is, Adam West absolutely loved the fact that they had to paint over it because the executives were like, "This is terrible. How can we possibly cast him as the Joker if we're going to paint over his mustache? It's going to look stupid." And he's like, "No, that's the point.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's supposed to be campy. It's funny.
It's a goofy show. Exactly. Yeah."
Well, maybe we can go with that then. I don't know. We can paint a beard back on if we have to have it.
John B says shave on air.
Shave on air.
Welcome to the after show.
That's going to require. I think Adrian's point. We're going to have to raise some funds for the Station of the Cross if we're going to do it.
It'll be the ACT after.
Joe.
Yeah.
Every year, when Brett Kiesel played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he would grow out his beard every year, and then at the end of the year, he did a fundraiser where they would shave the beard. Shear the beard is what they called it, but they would shave him, and it was a big fundraiser for whatever the local thing is. So you could totally make the shear the beard fundraiser for the Station of the Cross.
There you go.
I'm
shear
all for
the
it.
beard. All right. Okay. Do we do eyebrows too? We just go complete hairless, like whole bald. Every hair.
You're going to look
that's gotta be
shaved.
That's gonna be
for $100,000. I will go bald 100%.
Welcome
for $100,000.
Welcome to a Catholic Take with Baron Harkonnen.
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. That too.
Whatever. Baron. Golly gee whiz. The Dune reference is great.
Floating around. That'd be great.
By the way, are they making the third installment of Dune? Is that coming or what?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
They kind of ruined it with the second one, so.
They ruined it with the second one. You didn't
like. Are they making Dune Messiah? I just don't like Zendaya. I don't like girl boss Zendaya.
You don't like girl bosses.
The OG terrible one from the 80s is still better. It's the best one.
Is it? Yeah. I don't know about that.
I love that one.
Come on.
Even though David Lynch disowned it, I still love it.
I don't know. Although Sting was cool. I did like Sting.
Yeah, Sting's amazing in it.
Hey, Christine OFS says...
They are filming Dune Part 3.
The question for Joe. Why are men shaping their beards super pointy? What? We should probably ask Adrian. He's a beard expert.
Yeah. See, it's the current style, as you could tell. All the young
pointy.
people are into the sharp, pointy beards because it makes our face look more sharp and more masculine.
That's
So that's why we do
100%.
this, as you can tell.
That's exactly right. So if you have a
makes it seem more
round
wise,
face,
so,
you
like
can
the
make it
Egyptians
look
had the-
longer, less fat and short, less wide, more longer. That's the idea.
As you could tell, that's why I do it anyway. I don't know about everybody else.
Joe the beardless.
Well,
Shave
maybe
it
if
completely.
Joe is going to, if Joe's going to shave his beard, maybe I should grow one.
That's a fair exchange.
You'd be like Mirror. You'd be like Mirror Universe.
Have
Michael
you ever
Hichborn.
grown a
That'd be
beard,
great.
Michael Hichborn? Are you capable?
I had a goatee
of,
when I was in college.
There you go.
That was 48 years ago. Are you still capable of growing facial hair?
Oh yeah, it comes in white now, but
I tried to grow a beard once. It was so bad. If people want to go back and find when I first started working with Joe back in 2019, I was trying to grow a beard, so I didn't shave for like 6 months, and I looked like a hobo. It was so bad. I was horrible. I was like, everybody was like, just give it time. It's gonna be fine. Another month, and I'm like, I'm tired of looking like a hobo, and so we're done. We're never trying that again.
I let my beard grow out for about 2 or 3 weeks once, fairly recently, and I looked like Sean Connery from The Hunt for Red October.
There you go.
You should have kept it.
Yeah.
That'd be a bonus.
Bring it out. Yeah.
That would be a bonus. All right. Joe the beardless. Shave it off. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But God bless you all for your fun and interesting takes on everything today. Make sure to check out that article over at Lepanto Institute and share that as widely as possible, because we definitely need to put an end to the AUSCP in as many ways as possible. So God bless you. God love you. See you back here tomorrow morning.